All right, it's gonna take 1 minute here. Haven't done a live stream in a minute and just would be kind of cool. All right, there we are. Okay, we are live streaming right now. For those just joining us, this is an impromptu live stream. I was doing the Flowtricks, which is the Patreon group where we all jam out together, and I totally missed the day, so we did a makeup day today, and it's me and Indigo right now, and we're just exploring Nunchucks. Really, I think the whole point about this is just that we're just gonna explore a little bit. If you have any questions or whatnot, just feel free to holler. Totally impromptu. All right, give me just a second here. So this is interesting. Indigo came up with this move, which I thought was pretty sweet. And it's basically double clutch like this. And then he's pulling out with one hand to grab this direction and kind of create like this 3-section staff. So right now all we're doing is just kind of playing with different kinds of ways that we can spin 2 chucks in one hand like this. Oh, what's up, Santiago? Good to see you, man. Been a minute. Good, been a minute. Everyone, by the way, that's just joining us, Indigo is to my, what is he? He's to my right, I think, on the YouTube stream. And he's part of the Flowtricks group, and he's a pretty awesome spinner, and we're just coming up, making up new moves. Figured I'd just turn on. We were doing a Zoom class, and I just figured we'd just turn it on and chat with people. So, yeah, we were playing around with this. So everyone say hi to Indigo.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, this is some crazy stuff, dude. I have no idea. Like, it feels so spidery to like try to grab the chucks like that, but I like it. I also feel like you could go into a back grip and a front grip and just clasp them together to get into it easily. So we could be in 2 front grips and then just reverse one of the chucks and then just kind of clasp them together. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Ah. It's definitely weird for me. Like, this is something I don't usually do, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I had the idea a while back with my friend, and now I was thinking, in one nunchuck I will put magnets. So one doesn't have magnets, so I will be able to do the butterfly, but I could also be able to attach 2 chucks.
Huh. That's really fun. Wow. Something I really haven't explored until today. Oh, what's up, Hawkeye? What's up, John? So that's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone else explored with this? Grabbing one chuck, the same side of chuck with one hand or even 2 hands. So you have like this 3-section staff type of thing and just spinning it around. Blah. Jeez. Oh, there it goes. Trying to see if you can like release for a throw, but that's something else. That's really something else. I feel like you could. You just have to give it like a. You really have to like get that release out while you can't let go of the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Boom, like right there. Gotta slide my hand down a little.
Yeah, there are many ways to get into it. And even to get out of it, just taking them apart.
Oh yeah.
Already great, because you can make it obvious that you split them. And then you
That's true.
join them.
Yeah, you could probably, I'm just trying to think, maybe even the side stall do a grab, push it straight in, and then somehow like get in some sort of clutch formation to release one and go straight, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you hear it, just like clutch, release.
Yeah.
Oops. Something like that.
And a flick or something.
Hey, John. Yo, where can I get a good pair? I think they're still illegal over here. I mean, if they're illegal, it's kind of hard to get a good pair. You could always make one yourself. I made a video a long time ago about how to make nunchucks even with a magazine. Like, you could just use a magazine and some strings if you don't have very much around. I've always just got them from the local martial arts stores or dark-monk.com. That's these kinds of chucks. You can get them pretty much anywhere. If it's illegal though, that's a little bit harder. I don't even know why nunchucks are still illegal. I mean, that's like the most outdated thing, right? It's like you can have a katana, you can have a shotgun, but you cannot have 2 sticks on a string. What's that about?
I don't know. Here in Belgium, we are not allowed to have guns either.
What's up, King Henji? Yo. If you're just joining us, we're just having fun. We're just supposed to do like a Flowtricks group in our Patreon. Like we have people that come in and take little Zoom classes, but I missed the day. So it's supposed to be on a different day and I totally missed the day. So I figured me and Indigo would just kind of go live today and just play around with some new ideas. So welcome everyone. I know it's been a while. Oh yeah. I was gonna make a video on this, but I guess I could show this a little bit too. I've been working a little bit on square stalls, which is really nice for a 3-beat weave. Might as well just show this off. And if you want to teach something after this, Indigo, you're welcome to too, if you want to showcase anything for anyone. But a square stall is basically, anytime you're doing a 3-beat weave, you can do something called a stall, where basically as you're doing the weave, the opposite hand swings over and drops down like this, or it swings, or it swings under. And a stall is basically just a reversal of the nunchuck, like this or this, right? So if I'm doing my 3-beat weave, and the one hand is doing the beat on the opposite side of the arm, the other hand dips over to the top. So here, dip over to the top like this, and then that turns it into a reverse butterfly or split opposite handles. But what a box stall is a really cool, like a lot of times when people do stalls, it just kind of like has this funky look to it. And I tend to think like a stall where the chucks make a square like that, just has a really nice aesthetic to it. So what that is that's one chuck's stalling downwards while the other one stalls upwards at the same time. It's pretty hard to do. It's really about getting that up stall, about pushing it down and pumping it up while the other one is going the opposite. It's almost like your hands are going doosh. So one's dropping down while the other one's pushing up, and it stalls for a second and then it reverses direction. But the cool thing about this move is it reverses direction. So if I'm doing a 3-beat weave and I do this box stall, when I turn around, it becomes a reverse 3-beat. It's pretty cool, I think. So you can go 3-beat weave, box stall, reverse 3-beat weave, box stall, back to a 3-beat. And then there's one more area of complication that I think makes it even more fun, which is if you turn 180 degrees, it also changes your direction. So if I do a box stall, it changes direction. And if I turn 180 degrees, it changes direction. So if I do a 3-beat weave, a box stall, and change direction, it should be a 3-beat weave on the other end too. So the long story short is you can do a 3-beat weave, turn, box stall, turn, 3-beat weave. Normally, if you didn't do the box stall, it would be 3-beat weave on this side and reverse 3-beat on this side. So everything would be reversed. But since you reverse your direction here and you change and reverse your direction a second time, it actually puts everything back to forward, which I think is pretty cool. So 3-beat weave, box stall, 3-beat weave, box stall, 3-beat weave, box stall, 3-beat weave, box stall. That was my thought. That's what I've been thinking about and working on lately. Total like nerd chaku stuff. King Henchi says, I want to become a god with nunchucks, so I just ordered some. Hell yeah, do it. Do it. It only takes 6 months, and you too can become a god with nunchucks. You got anything, Indigo? Any tricks or thoughts that you think might be kind of cool to share?
Yeah, I can add on what you were saying,
Sure.
because indeed we were practicing with the box stalls and you can reverse it. And then when you reverse it and you go to the reverse figure 8, we were talking about how you can both get them behind the shoulder to rest there, or it's indeed a good time to do the double clutch.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. So you're talking like 3-beat weave, box stall, up here,
Yeah.
and then double clutch there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
But also when you do the box and you go to the reverse and you do them behind the shoulder 1-1, it's also good for XMA, what Death Mode was explaining in his video, because this is also one of the parts that you can get ready to do your slashes for attacking. You can move and then you go to the next one.
Ah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's box stall, y'all. Here. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're totally set up because it's reversing direction right here. That's nice. You could also do a diagonal buzzsaw, so you're straight down here. For anyone that does the buzzsaw, the regular buzzsaw, you can take the buzzsaw, diagonally cut it down to your hips. So it'd be like 3-beat weave, box stall, down. Just, which is really just in slow motion, down, back up, up. Something like that. I'm going to read off here. All right. King Henchy says, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch all your video tutorials on them. Holy cow, man. I don't know if you all know this, but I just reached my 1,000th video upload. So you have a lot to watch. I have to be honest, I've been running out of ideas for the last couple of years on what I wanted to teach, which is why I've been thinking of these guest instructors, and just starting to do these Zoom classes and stuff has been really nice. It's been really fun, you know? Let's see. What made you get into using nunchucks? Martial arts or just for fun? Yeah, you know, a long time ago, like I went through a little, to be honest, I was a musician for a long time ago, but I was always a martial artist. And when I did a gig in California, they had these fire dancers that spun fire to my music. And I thought that was the coolest thing, but the only thing I knew was martial arts. And I actually always loved the nunchuck. So when I came home, I literally locked myself in my room for about 6 months and just trained all the time. I was addicted. I was so hooked on nunchucks, man. And that's kind of where it came from. A lot of this stuff I do is made up, or it was made up at one point in time. I mean, there's definitely like a freestyle form. There's places where you can go to get nunchuck moves and whatnot. But it's really interesting to see because, like, I still remember back in the day when the moon wave was just a mind-blowing move. It's like so simple now, right? It's considered a basic move. But when it first came out, it was like, what is this madness? You know, it's just kind of funny, but that's kind of like UFC too, right? Or the way I kind of see it. It's like UFC when it first came out, and jiu-jitsu like proved that it was like it could stand pretty well on its own. You know, now everyone does new jiu-jitsu, but way back in the day, man, it's just like it was something new, it was fresh. So anyways, that's my long-winded story. Indigo, I'm still trying to find a good transition though. I do think that double clutch is a good one. Actually, wait, so if we're doing the 3-beat weave, we could box stall, pull it up here, do the double clutch, and then you could go straight into that from here, huh?
Yeah,
whoosh.
exactly.
And then we have this, which is brand new to me, so I'm very sloppy and floppy with it.
Yeah, I've been watching some 3-section staff videos also, and there are pretty much techniques you can learn from them.
Yeah.
I see one of the techniques is sometimes that they hold one of the other ends and they just move with this one. I don't know.
I see. Be a good setup for a throw.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, you can throw it and catch it back into it also.
Oh yeah, you could. You totally could. Got to get that catch just right. Let me see. Whoosh, catch. Yeah, totally. Huh. Could you do it in mid-spin is the question. Could you do it while you're doing something like this and then releasing it? Oh, well, releasing it and then catching it without stopping your nunchuck with only one hand.
Not yet.
Things we think about. Cross, cross, grab. Oh, you totally can if you just practiced it a lot. Yeah, totally. Because it'd be like, whoosh, catch. Oh, caught it wrong.
Yeah, you just have to catch it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I'm gonna see here. Um, Keenan says 41 years, 10 months. Is that how long you've been doing nunchucks, or is that your age? I also feel like people don't do like far grips enough. Far grips are really interesting. You get the most distance with the far grip, and you also have like this control where your hand can swing over the top of the nunchuck, allowing like different types of throws, or even just like super long rolls that can become throws. So that was like a 720 to a syncopated wrist roll to a throw, just because there's so much room here. It goes like whoosh. Oops. Trying to go slow is harder. It just has to flow through.
Yeah, that's nice.
And there's that infinite syncopated.
Yeah, that one I can't do yet.
What's up, Sean?
With the ends, I only knew one that's like kind of a snake move where you take it and then you twist your entire body around it and then you come back out.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. There's a guy named Christoph that used to do that move. Yeah, I don't even remember how. I don't remember how do you do that?
You hold them in front.
Mm-hmm.
Right hand goes down, and then your left elbow goes in.
Oh, okay.
And then, no, you're in the room. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm wiped.
The wrong way. Yes. Hold it like the steering wheel. You twist it like this. And then your left hand or your left elbow goes over
cross body,
and then inside.
I see. I don't see actually.
Yeah, but maybe my camera also isn't so good.
Kind of weird, right? Like 10 years, 13 years of nunchucks, and there's still so much to work on and so much to learn from. Even after all these years, there's just tons of weird, crazy stuff that you can do with chucks. That's for sure. All right. Keenan says, started June 1979. That's awesome. I was born in 77, so you started before I was even born. Sean says, what type of nunchucks do you use? Chains, cords, or are they foam ones? These are Dark Monk ones, so they're actually metal. They're metal on the inside, but then they have like a foam cushion grip, weighted ends that kind of mimic fire nunchucks. I tend to like these because my main profession is being a fire circus artist. So these mimic fire nunchucks a lot and allow me to do a lot of tricks with them. Generally speaking, though, I like ropes. I used to love chains, but chains they break a lot. I don't know, especially if you go fast and hard, or if you do a lot of bounces, you can definitely break the swivels tons. So I find ropes to be a little bit more reliable for sure. Anyways, yeah. While we're here, feel free to ask questions. Indigo has a different style than I have. As you can see, it's very fluid and flexible and organic. He likes to create all different kinds of shapes, and he's got the cool ultraviolet lighting going on. So he's he's a student to Pro Tricks, but I would generally say he already knew what he was doing coming in. He just wants to jam with us, and that's kind of how it works. So
yeah, because I was following you on YouTube already a long time, and I don't know, you've taught me so many things for free, so why not?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Generally speaking, we do this every week. We get together and do Zoom classes. Usually it's on Sundays, but I totally biffed that up. I've been doing a lot of shows lately, actually shows every weekend. So I haven't had much time to do them on Sundays, so we've been rescheduling. And today just happened to be today, but it was actually supposed to be yesterday. But yeah, we're just kind of doing a little makeup. And like I was saying, if you're just joining too, Indigo was cool enough to agree to just kind of do a live stream. That way I could just reach out to everyone and say, hey, since it's been a while. And I thought we could just kind of play around with some new tricks today. And if there's any immediate questions too. Keenan says, how much do those sticks weigh? You know, I'm not sure, to be honest. These are heavy, though. These are a little bit heavier than some of the wooden chucks, but it's because most of the weight's at the end. But foamies are definitely a lot lighter. Unfortunately, I don't have a scale, but these are definitely lighter than these. But the nice thing about having weights at the tips is all the types of finger rolls and just the momentum of the chucks just keep going because the weight's mostly at the tip, so it keeps that motion going. King says, what's one of the hardest tricks that you know? I mean, for me, the trick that, and I don't even know it, to be honest. There's a lot of tricks that I do. You guys keep in mind, like, if I've been doing this 10 years, a lot of these tricks that I show you guys are stuff that I just discovered that day, and I may not do it again for a couple of years, if not like longer, just because it just depends. Probably the hardest trick I know is going to be this one. Oh, shoot. Let me see. I can't do it cold because I haven't mastered it yet. Something like that. And what it is we're doing kind of like, we're doing a 3-beat weave and we're mixing it with the snake and then we're adding hand rolls to it. 3-beat weave, hand roll, snakes. And so what's happening is I'm doing a front to back hand roll back here while this is doing a hand roll. Then I'm pushing, and as my hands exchange, I'm doing the exact opposite. And getting those to not hit each other while you're doing it is a challenge. Like, oops. It's very easy for you to like accidentally hit the planes just right. If I warm up for about 10 minutes, I can usually do it. But to me, that's probably one of the hardest moves that I know. It's kind of funny because like I make up moves that are harder for me. I make up moves that are harder for me to do. Like I'll make up moves and I can't do it, and I'll spend like a month trying to get it to work. I don't know. You know, that's how I bounce off my ideas. What about you, Indigo? Do you have like a hard move or one of your hardest moves?
There are hard moves for me at the moment because those are the moves that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. But mostly they are just add-ons of simpler moves that I already know. So,
sure. Yeah.
For example, I know the butterfly, that I can do the butterfly. So now I'm trying to move it around, get it to other places. And the part where I am now is that I am trying to let it jump over my arm and catch it in the butterfly again.
Jeez, right. Yeah. For those that don't know, like that's a tough move. The butterfly. Back in the old days before it had a name, it was called the Infinowave, but butterfly is the actual term for it.
And
yeah.
The one finger wheel is one that I've been struggling with a very long time. So I can do the wheel pretty fine, and then sometimes it keeps going, but I lose it very much.
You know, I'm the same way. I can only get that one finger to last for just a few rotations, and then I lose it. Yeah.
I've been struggling with that for 2 years already, maybe. I
don't know. And then I lose it. Sometimes I can get some good rotations. I think the hardest part about that move is there's no easy way to describe how to do it. Like, it's definitely a feeling thing, and I know when it sinks in, but I don't know exactly why it works.
Yeah.
And then I eventually lose it.
Yeah, when I did it, most times it wasn't very fast music. And when you do it with 2 fingers,
there it is.
You have to double that speed.
Yeah, there's definitely more speed that has to happen for sure. I feel like you have to wiggle it a lot harder.
Yeah,
it's almost like sliding every time too, but I don't know exactly. Oh. I don't know exactly where that slide is. Yeah. You know, I just had a good one and I doubt I'll be able to get that one again. Dang.
And then I'm also practicing on doing the 1 finger wheel and then throwing it and catching it into a butterfly.
Yeah, that's totally beyond me. That's, oops. Yeah, I haven't really worked too much on one-handed SimX throws with the butterfly, but that's pretty crazy.
That's also
Whoosh.
pretty nice. Yes.
Mm. I do too. Like I'm pretty comfortable doing two of them and getting the little symmetrical crossing, but getting one, man, ugh,
Yeah.
they just kind of flop.
That's strange because the SemX is one that I also struggle with a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny because I find yours to be 10 times harder. This thing, do a throw, like, oh, there we go, finally worked. Like it just wants to flop. But then when I'm like, you know, getting in here, reverse, or whatever, whoosh, whoosh, just naturally flops through it.
No, for me it's not natural.
I think that's the coolest part about nunchuck spinners is like, well, yeah, like I said before, you know, I could be doing this 13 years and I have this very limited scope of knowledge. And then when you start spinning with other people that have been doing it for a long time, what they find easy and what I find easy are totally different. All right, I'm gonna read a couple questions here. Indigo's in a whole nother dimension. His chucks are dope though. So nunchucks are like a bow staff where you have to get a specific size for you, or will any work? It really doesn't matter what your size is, but there's definitely, the longer it is, generally speaking, the more the crowd likes it. But then you are limited by some moves. I'll give you an example. Let me go grab one. I generally use short staffs when I do my bow staff spinning. And the reason for that is when I have a smaller staff, I can do moves around the waist here. If it was a big long staff, like a 6-foot staff, this would be hitting the ground. Boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't be able to get these low motions in. Whoosh. So all this stuff here is impossible to do. Or even when I'm doing the why can't I think of this word right now? The pinwheel, as this is going down, it'd smack the floor if it's too long. But when it's long, it just looks better. With short staff though, you have a lot of these like inward motions that you can do that are a lot easier. Just because it's short, it doesn't hit the ground when you're down by your waist height. So that's your personal preference. I generally prefer 4-foot staffs, but I know most bow staff spinners like go 5 to 6 feet. Riss says, how do you do an aerial with a combo? What's your favorite aerial? What's your favorite throw?
Mine.
Yeah.
My favorite throw that I'm practicing on now is, I don't know if you will see it here, and I have a cable, but one where you throw it under your leg.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like that one. I like that one. There's a forward and reverse version of that. Like this, whoosh. Oops. And then there's also one that goes the opposite way. So it's like, wow, wow. Nice. Nice, that's cool. Definitely dig that one. Get a little lower. There's also this weird floor thing that I was playing with a long time ago, but it's still kind of cool, where you drop the nunchuck on the floor like this and you stomp on it, get your foot to get it stuck right here. So it's all one motion. So it's like whoosh, like that. So we're sticking it and then we pull it back. So it's like, it's kind of stalling this way, but your foot catches it before it finishes. And then you pull up against your foot. As you lift your foot up, it makes it fly backwards. So boom, whoosh, catch. That has nothing to do with the move you just showed. I was just thinking, oh yeah, low throws. That's kind of one that's kind of fun. The question was that Riss was wondering was, how do you do a throw with the combo? And the answer is quite simply, just like any other move, nunchucks either go, well, most throws will either go this way or this way. So anytime you do a combo in general, it's just going to keep going that direction. Whether I throw it and catch it, or whether I do a pass and catch it, you just have to know what direction it's going and then just keep it going that way. So if I do a throw and I catch it and it keeps spinning that way, it's no different than if I do a pass. So don't think of a throw as any different than any other move. You just have to know what direction it's going and then do other moves that go in that same direction. Good example is the rotor pass, where we're grabbing, doing this good old little rotor pass here. A very natural throw is, instead of passing it to the hand back here, you just kind of let it lift to where the chuck is open, you know, where the chuck is on the open space. And then you just lift up your hand and throw it. So you're here, rotate your hand 180 degrees, lift it, and catch it with the other hand. So whoosh, whoosh. And you keep it spinning the same direction because we're not changing directions at all. It's not much different than just doing the rotor pass, just looks a little bit more dramatic. Looks a little more dramatic. Also, one of my favorite throws is it's like this one. It goes whoosh, whoosh. And what that's doing is I'm trying to create a barrier over my shoulder, and I'm throwing it over my leg, right? As I throw it over my leg and the nunchuck clears, I put my other hand over here, and then I reach over and I grab it underneath my other arm. So it's like here, under the leg, over the arm, put my other hand out, grab it from over there. Can't remember what this is called. So it's like whoosh, whoosh. Again, it's here, over, catch. It's just kind of a weird one. It's very similar to just throwing it under and catching it, except you're making two obstacles by lifting your arms up. So it's like throw, here, catch. So it needs to clear this hand first. So wait for it to clear the arm, then put another obstacle out, and then reach under and grab it underneath the arm. So when you're throwing it under your leg, you're aiming it for right here. You're aiming it over your shoulder over there. Mixed Martial Arts, Kung Fu Palestine says, I salute you, the spirit of creative work and constant activity in your distinctive channel, which offers everything new and useful. Thank you very much, my dear friends. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are friends from every country. Distances are long, languages are different, customs are varied, but this does not prevent us from being friends, best friends with what we offer to the public. Thank you, sir. Yes, I love that. So true. That's one thing YouTube has given us, is the ability to talk over long distances and share our art. And dude, I don't even know how many like ninjas we've created and people that have just picked up nunchucks just because they stumbled across the YouTube channel, but it's pretty awesome. It is very awesome. Definitely. Also, one of my favorite throws comes off this. I don't know why. This just feels good to be able to do. Comes off of a finger spin, a pointer finger spin, but then you put your thumb in the way, but you don't pinch it. You actually, it becomes like a, what's the word? Yeah, like that. It becomes, it almost becomes a horizontal figure eight. But what happens is as my hand lifts up, my fingers lift out, and then they pinch as they go down. So it'll look like this. Here, close, open, close, open, close. You can see my fingers opening and closing right here. And then what happens is when they open, I just launch it up in the air. So it's like this, whoosh. Like, let me try that again. We'll do it with regular speed now. Up and down, whoosh. Just has a really cool feel to it, you know? Give me just a second here. Indigo, I think we might have lost your sound. Either we lost sound or my speaker stopped working in my ear. Let's see, just a second here. So yeah, this is just a very impromptu thing. Hey, I hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I pulled on my cable.
Oh. There's also something like if you grab it really, really close here, you can do wraps, which are where basically your palm sits on top of the other palm like this. So if I'm doing a 3-beat weave, I can kind of wrap my hands together and make the chucks kind of tangled up and untangle them. So it'll be like whoosh, whoosh, wrap, and over. It kind of looks like that when they're fully wrapped up. Super wrapped.
Super wrapped.
Super wrapped, yeah. Here, over. So all the chucks just kind of weave around itself. And then you reverse the direction.
Yeah, that's also nice.
Oops. That's a fun one.
And it's the same like doing the box style.
Yeah, it's very similar, except for you just let it keep going the same direction. You're just letting it keep going, and then all of a sudden it's just like wrapped in itself like that.
Yeah. And when you unwrap it, you are in the reverse.
Mm-hmm. Just like the box saw in that for sure. Riz asked, how do you do a Simex? Well, Simex isn't really a technique. A Simex is just, a Simex is symmetrical crossing. It just means that the left and the right side of the nunchuck are crossing past each other, usually in a throw of some kind. Technically, like a moon wave is a Simex, sun wave is a Simex. Even the butterfly does two Simexes, one on the top and one on the bottom. So don't think of it more of a technique. Think of it as anytime the chucks are going in opposite direction and symmetrically crossing past each other, you're doing a Simex. And there's a lot of ways to do a Simex. If you're wondering about this particular one, you use your pointer fingers mostly. You kind of sneak your fingers up towards the top of the chuck like this. You're in two back grips. So two back grips, take your pointer finger, kind of sneak it over to the top. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to push your pinkies out while these pointer fingers go across. And this is what's going to cause it to be a nice and smooth throw to the top. When you first start, just do it really lightly and see if you can get it a half spin across so they're just exchanging sides. Eventually, though, you can almost clap your hands together and they'll bounce twice. 1, 2. And then if you want to get really creative, you can catch them in reverse grips like this. And then all of a sudden you have another one. Oops, you can have another one you can do again. So it's like 1, oops. So that practice is like throw it into a reverse grip, pop it back out. Like that. Yeah, it's a lot of just making this nice and tight, pushing them against each other, almost like you're clapping your hands together like this. And that causes them to snap into each other. And then give it a little bit higher of a throw with more of a sideways snap. So it cross, cross. And then seeing if you can kind of catch it in reverse grip so you can pop it back the other way. Pop. Oops. It's very important to kind of hold it really close to the top or close to, a near grip. King Henchy says, so are basic nunchuck tricks complex or simple to get down? Nunchucks, what do you think, man? You think basic nunchuck tricks were, when you first started, was it hard or easy for you?
It was easy for me because, I don't know, I've had some martial arts experience, so I know that if I just do one thing a lot, that it will get better.
True.
And I think the shoulder passes and the wrist rolls didn't take me very long, but I practiced a lot of them. I think 1 hour every day or something. Mm-hmm. And I think in 1 week or 2 weeks, it got pretty fluid, and that motivated me to try the next step already because I was a little bored already with just the passes.
And then bored's a good one it's a good reason to learn. I get bored easy too.
Yeah, exactly. But the basics, I don't think they are difficult to understand, and I watched Ken Hill's videos, so if you watch the Ken Hill beginner tutorial guide, you lost me again. But if you watch the beginner guides, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to learn yourself some tricks.
Good call. Yeah, I think a lot of it is really repetition. It's usually, when I see people like training and stuff, usually it's the very simple, small little things that people miss when they're training. Like most of the time when people watch a video, they're generally in the right area. There's just like 1 or 2 things that they're messing up on. So it's like, if you're able to identify that yourself, I feel like you can rock it through your training, but you just have to be really aware of how the nunchucks are spinning through your hands.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it just should be fun, just put on some music and play with it. And
yeah,
it's not a job, it's something fun to do.
So Art says the double chuck wrap up looks almost like a rotunda move. I don't actually know rotunda, unfortunately, but I would assume like we all like share the same types of moves, a lot of different types of props or weapons. They all share the same similar characteristics for sure. Especially like staff and nunchucks and poi. I feel like all of those definitely have like things in connection. I'm gonna have to look up rotunda now though, just to see what that's about. Roberto says, awesome, man. Art says, depends on what sort of move you're trying to attempt to pull off. That's so true. Henchi says, I'm just talking about the basic ones. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to agree with Indigo, especially now. Like in the old days, it was harder to learn nunchucks when the tutorials were a lot more complicated, but I feel like people have gotten better at teaching chucks. I mean, obviously I've gotten better at it, but there's a lot more available now than there was back in the old days. So I do feel like it's a lot easier. It's mostly just about taking it nice and easy, nice and slow, and working through it. I mean, your figure eight wrist roll is going to be your bread and butter. So getting to that point, I feel like, especially as a beginner, is going to be what you're going to want to work on the most. Getting those figure eight wrist rolls. Then you can use rips to get to figure eight wrist rolls on the other end. So look up, if you're not sure what that is, look up a few things. Front to back hand rolls, which is this. Then you're going to look up back to front hand rolls. That's 2. Look up your figure eights. That's 3. And that's all a figure eight wrist roll is a front to back hand roll, figure eight, back to front hand roll, figure eight, front to back to front, back and forth, back and forth. And then when you learn your rips on top of that, which will be number 4, then you can do it with both hands. Then you rip to the other hand, figure eight wrist roll, grab, rip, figure eight wrist roll, grab, rip. Altogether, it looks complicated, but when you break it down into little pieces and you focus on those little pieces, you get that pretty quick. So yeah, I think one of the problems with beginners, a lot of them, is they try to go too fast. They try to tackle on too much, and they want to do the cool moves, which, dude, I am so guilty of too. Whenever I get a new prop, I definitely do harder moves than I should be. And that's okay. Like, you can do that as a way to learn, but if you're getting stuck and you're not finding that you're progressing, then it's definitely time to like work on those fundamentals and seeing there's probably 1 or 2 things that just need a little bit of changing and you'll probably be fine. Let's see. Riss says, how do you do tricks with 2 nunchucks? That's a lot. What do you think, Indigo? How do you do tricks with 2 nunchucks, man?
You learn to do the figure eight wrist roll with both hands, and then you do it together.
There you go. Yeah. Doing the figure eight wrist roll with both hands is definitely a good one. Going like this. It's the bread and butter, man. Generally speaking, too, I would say try to start with 1 before you go to 2. 2 is a different kind of beast. But again, there's like, I've got videos on both singles and doubles. So just look up double nunchucks for beginners and you'll find some good basic nunchuck tutorials. A lot better than if I tried to teach it now. Like, they're a lot more in depth and there's probably still like 2 dozen of them. So it's quite a bit. Oh, Riz, if you want to share a video to me, just send an email to, it's all one word. It's Ken Hillfire, KenHillFire @gmail.com. Art says, the other thing, mistakes I made when picking up chucks, is also to make sure to work the fundamentals on both hands and make sure to focus on your non-dominant hand. You can definitely get slowed down if you don't practice with your, like, I'm a righty, so my left is definitely slower. Definitely. Especially when you're doing doubles. The ability to do this requires both hands to be able to do figure eights on both sides. So if your left hand's uncomfortable, one of the best training tools that I found is like TV or watching your favorite anime or TV show and practicing those moves while you're watching it. Just like do it, watch your show, whatever. Kind of put your mind off at ease so you're halfway thinking about the move and halfway not. You're really just trying to get your muscle memory worked in. So, you know, you don't have to take it so seriously. Sometimes it's better just to watch a TV show and drill it for like an hour without even thinking about it so much. Do you have any tips for that, man?
It was, how was the question? It was also with doubles, no? How was the question? It was with doubles.
Oh yeah. Well, we were just talking about. Actually, I guess it wasn't really a question. It was more like we were just talking about using your left hand or your non-dominant
Oh
hand.
yeah, exactly.
Training tips
Yeah,
for it.
my left hand always struggles, but I broke my right arm half year ago, I think, and I couldn't use it, and my left got a lot bigger in that time. So the tip I can give you, pretend for a while that your main arm is broken.
That's hilarious. I dislocated my shoulder. Now you guys can probably find those times I was in a sling and I had to use my left hand as well. That definitely made a huge difference in my ability to spin with my left. So maybe dislocate your shoulder or break it. Is that the tip you're trying to say?
No, you can just pretend, but yeah, if you can't do it.
All right, that's good. Just put your arm behind your back and make yourself do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
But yeah, I know it's hard because if you master it a little bit with your right hand and then you go to your left, it's like you're starting all the way over again. And sometimes it's even harder because the left hand is just, I don't know, a little bit dumber.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there are,
The left. I tend to teach my left different moves than my right, which goes against a lot of styles, a lot of training methods. Um, my left has totally different moves than my right hand, except for moves where I'm doing turns. I always learn both directions with turns because you have to.
yeah, my left hand also knows different tricks than my right one, and it's better just in some things. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think they have to be matched perfectly, but if you want to do a trick, like the double chain unwinder, then you have to learn it with both hands.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, if you don't know with both hands, it's going to be really hard to do them with doubles for sure. Doubles requires both. Or what is it? Double thumb spins. I probably can't do that with because I have a much more comfortable right hand. Or actually, my left hand is more comfortable doing a thumb spin from a chain unwinder than a right. I can do it a lot easier with my left. You probably can't even see that, but that was a thumb roll. But with my right, I can't. I haven't practiced it, so I can only do it with my left.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of hard to see, but it's like here to a thumb roll. See, it's rolling across the thumb right there and grabbing it, but you can barely see it. It's gonna be something that no one will notice unless you put it in slow motion. It's like a lot of moves, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yep, yep. Let's see. All right. But yeah, and then it's just about putting together all the moves that you do. For myself, I definitely have moves that I'm like a mad scientist with that I would never do in a show. I'm gonna have moves that I'm super comfortable with that I would always do it during a show. And when you're performing for people, you definitely don't want to do the moves where you're dropping and fumbling a lot. No matter how cool it would look if you catch it, you always want to wait until you can do it like 95% of the time at least. So there's like different types of moves that you do want to experiment with. Just make sure that depending on what you're doing, if you're in training mode, make sure that some of them stay in training mode while others you can bring into the performance mode or show off mode, basically, if you want it to look right or if you want it to work well. I kind of mix it, especially for the YouTube channel because y'all are nunchuck spinners. So sometimes I'll do the harder moves where it's a lot less easy for me to catch or easy for me to do just because you guys already know the kinds of techniques that I'm teaching. But generally speaking, like I try to keep it simple, especially when I'm doing shows for audiences.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little bit different in that way too because I just play at parties and I kinda I don't know, sometimes I just don't care because I'm just playing, and I drop
Oh
them.
yeah, absolutely. Or if you're just jamming out, dude, there's nothing better. Like you don't even have to think about that. Just jam out for
Yeah,
sure. I just mean like if someone's paying you money or
yeah,
for
exactly.
me, like a lot of times, I mean, to be honest, most of the time that I'm spinning like in public anymore, it's because I'm like, performing or doing something where I have to be like in tip top shape with my
Yeah,
spinning skills. So I don't do anything questionable there. But yeah, if I was at a friend's house, I'd be jamming for sure, just like I am now.
yeah, exactly. That's why I don't know. Maybe I would have some problems doing it for money and doing shows because I don't know. I have problems getting one solid piece because I keep adding new tricks and I have to practice. I practice the new tricks and
Hmm. You know, something I found that really helps though is if you do a show or you do a nunchuck show, this can be helpful to anyone. If you just play the same song every single time, it may get a little bit old, but if you play the same song, even if you're freestyling, by the end of that year, you will have moves that just sync with the song perfectly because you'll find what works and you'll keep those. And then the rest will still be freeform, but you have these moments that you'll know exactly what needs to be done.
yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that could totally help too, man. If you just play the same song, like if you wanted to have a performance song, but you don't want to work on choreography, just do something different every time. But listen to the song, and eventually some of the tricks will stick. The ones where the crowd is freaking out, especially, you'll remember those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's trial and error also, and you just need to do it and gain experience.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. Very true. Well, man, Indigo, thank you. Thanks for letting me do this little live stream. I just thought it'd be kind of fun since we're just chilling here, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun. Thank you for starting it up.
Yeah, no, for sure. And hey, thanks everyone too for joining in. Dev mode is going to be taking over for the rest of this month. It's gonna be a little bit busy for me. I'm out of town quite a bit, so I'll try to make some videos this month, but it may be a little bit tricky. But until then, just kind of keep your eyes on YouTube. If you need anything, send me a message on kenhillfire@gmail.com. Happy to see your stuff. Thanks again, Indigo. You're awesome, dude.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
And yeah, I'll see you later in the week, and I'll see my YouTube people later too. Take it easy.